Yo, this is
This
crazy. New levels, new levels. The whole crew's on that new level. What's going on, CV World? This is your boy Millie back with another episode of Praçazul. Before we get started today, I would like to thank the host today here at Anyone Studio. So proud of these guys. We love the work that you guys are doing and continue to do here. Thank you so much for hosting this episode. Our guest today is a singer, songwriter, producer that has been making classics and hits, masterpieces for over 3 decades now. With his labels, Just Jay, Miss Jane, he has had a hand in creating, working, and participating in legendary groups like Mobass, Splash, even Quattro to some extent, working with legendary artists like Keila, Medina, Johnny Fonseca, Nelson Freitas, even later on with Don Kikers, C4 Pedro, Dino de Santiago, I saw even in there as well. Here today to talk about his journey, the challenges he faced during his journey, his evolution as an artist, and his future plans. It's a pleasure and an honor to sit down with the legend and amazing talent, Mr. Just J himself, Johnny Ramos. What's going on, Johnny?
Hey, what up? What up? Thank you. I feel honored, man. That's a big intro.
Hey, man, I'm telling you, it's never big enough. It's never big enough, especially for an artist like you, man. Thank you so much for sitting down with me. I've always been a huge fan of your work. I love your story, man, because it's so connected to other great artists as well. And I just want to do a whole in-depth interview about your journey, man, for sure.
Let's do this. Thanks for having me.
Usually we start at the beginning. You know, I always ask people where they're from, but being also somebody that was born and raised in the same place as you, I know you're from Holland.
Mm-hmm. True.
Where were your parents from? Let's just start with that.
Sunny Cloud. My roots are in Sunny Cloud. They both immigrated to Netherlands. First France, actually. Mm-hmm. But luckily, they went to Holland. Luckily. Or else I would be speaking French now.
Speaking French right now.
Oh, that's not a bad thing. Okay. Know, right? But anyways, they went to Rotterdam. Now I say luckily because, like you said, in your intro, the people I've worked with, I think my career and the things I've done in the music industry has happened, could only have happened this way in Rotterdam, in
that pot.
So that's what I'm saying.
For sure.
Yeah.
You coming from Sunny Cloud, before you started making music, who were your early influences? And when I say that, I don't just mean because I know that almost every person in Sunny Cloud plays an instrument. Like I always say that, almost everybody has a guitar. Your early influences as far as your family or as far as somebody that's famous and was already in the game?
I would say definitely in a certain way. Not that my mom was a musician, but my mom loved music, and she was a big fan of ours, the family, because as you know, I come from a musical family, meaning that we actually are the first generation doing that, because I don't really recall, or maybe I don't know it, but my father did play a little bit of guitar, but he was not a musician. But so we started this music thing, me, Nelson, and others, and Jay. Okay, and the other influence from family point of view is my brother Jay Ramos.
Okay,
who was from DJ Triumph. Later also he participated in Mobass and did a solo album. But because of his DJing, he had to practice at home a lot.
course.
And so the songs that he would play at the parties would pass by. So I definitely was influenced by that, you know.
Yeah, as well.
Back in the days, the Zouk Love,
Great to have.
and all that.
It's great to have like a DJ.
Yeah, so
wait a minute, that song works.
Yeah.
So that's
and you know, and just for having a taste of the music, yeah, like I said, I guess my mom.
Yeah. Okay. Great. So when did you really like make that switch? Like, okay, this is something that I have a passion for. You fell in love with music. When was the switch that you said, okay, maybe I should you know, invest my time in it as well?
As they say, well, as I learned in Angola, quando o bichinho te mordeu, né? When I had that feeling, it was around the time that I would watch my a neighborhood friend, Mario Gonçalves, who was part of the Right Track. That a band that I was later in, but before that they had like a rap. This was like the first wave of rap, you know, LL Cool J, Eric B and Rakim, those days, Public Enemy, and and when that wave hit also Holland, we were into hip hop and all that. So they had a rap crew. My brother was another brother of mine, Pedro, was part of it, and I would watch them rehearse and all that. And then one time I went to it's just a small neighborhood gig that they had. But when I saw the reaction of the crowd on their performance, I thought, wow, yes, I want this. I like it. I think that's when it hit me, you know. And then I started, saving some money. I had a paper route job at the time, so, you know, still a young kid. Of course. And saved some money. Bought my first drum machine, and then, you know, once you start, well, for me at least, once you start in the creating, actually, it's like a journey, and it's like a discovery journey. You discover things because first when you say drum machine, you think, oh, it's only the beat, but then, you know, those drum machines also had like bass sounds, some keyboard sounds. So I would come up with a beat and a bass line.
When did you realize that you really had a singing voice? Like, were you always?
No, not yet. Huh? You know, that was a little bit further down the road. But you know, so you develop.
Yeah, of course.
You develop. From the beat, bass line comes a song, and then, well, comes the melody.
Exactly.
But then the melody needs lyrics. So, you know, and then by just feeling it and doing it, you know, you discover you can do it.
Amazing.
Yeah, and but the singing, you know, at first actually I started rapping first. Yeah. I was into hip hop.
Yeah.
So
I said bars.
Yes, but don't ask me to do freestyle now.
I know that you used to break dance. I saw somewhere that you used to break dance.
Yeah, as a young kid, like I said, you know, it was a hype, a trend at first. Well, which would later became like a culture, right? And still is, you know, and a big industry, of course. Yes. But we were caught up by it too in Holland, and I used to break dance. I wasn't that good, but you know.
hey, you either break dance or you don't. Like, it all looks great to us.
Yeah.
So, like, I know that back then there were like talent shows that you could go to. Like Todo Mundo Canta was really big in Holland. Is that something that you got into as well, or did you just basically create your style at home without ever, you know, testing it on a performance level like that?
Yeah, well, the only contests, so to speak, that we did actually was dancing contests. Yeah, not break dancing, by the way. There was, what would you call it? Like street dancing or something? I don't know, urban dancing.
I guess, yeah.
Within that same group, more or less, me, my brother, Mario, another guy, Clyde, we formed that group, The Right Track. We started dancing. I
saw that Pump It Up. Was it?
Yeah.
Let's pump it up. That was
exactly. That was our first single. But before that, we yeah, we did a few competitions. We won one or two, I don't know. And but because they had like already a rap background, so to speak, Mario, Clyde as well, and we were thinking, no, we can do more than just dancing.
Exactly.
And then that was around the time that New Jack Swing blew up, and you know, the Ted Riley and all that, later Boys to Men, Keith Sweat.
Yeah.
Those were talking about musical influences. Yet that was definitely an influence for us, for me, and yeah. So and then the singing part came, you know, because okay, when I fell in love with that, so I forgot about the rap thing, and I thought, no, yeah, I want to sing.
Sing as well, yeah, of course.
And at first we thought we could sing, but we didn't really sing that well.
Yeah.
But it's where it started.
Well, I got to be honest, bro. I know, let's keep it in the Cape Verdean world. I know artists that have built their skills, but I can also spot talent. Like, you are one of the best vocalists that we have in the CV world. Like, if I'm just talking CV world, because I don't want to go outside.
Thank you.
Like, it's not just I worked on it. You already had the talent for, you know, there's certain notes you can hit and certain notes you can't, I guess.
Well, I do know this. Even though, like I said, at first it wasn't really, well, I don't have that talent that I could sing right from the bat. You know, I did take some singing lessons, classes.
Okay.
To learn about the technique and all that. But what I did notice in the early phase, that I had what you call soul, I think, you know, I had feeling. I noticed that, and actually one of my first, which was actually an American guy who lived in Holland, and that was my first singing teacher.
Okay.
Yeah, he was very strict with all these things, and he told me, you know, oh wow, you got your. He said I was very musical, you know. I had a good. I didn't have like you have like apps. I don't know if that's the term in English as well, but absolute hearing. I think, you know, that when you hear a note and you know right away, okay, that's a C sharp, or that's a D, whatever.
You had that?
No. I had a near absolute.
Oh, okay.
So I couldn't tell you if it's a C sharp or whatever, but how do you near absolute? It's, well, you come already in the neighborhood. I know where to go. I can hear it, you know, that helps.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. No, you could tell that the skill was definitely there, or the talent was there, and then you worked on the skill. Before we move over to, you know, the albums and the groups that you got in, let me ask you this, man. What was in the water in Holanda, like in the 90s, where that legendary run of all those artists and all those groups, you know, starting maybe, let's say, 80s with Voz de Capeverdean, and then going into you guys, Gil and the Perfects, Livity, Splash, Mobass, Quattro, Suzanne, like the list goes on and on, bro. How did you guys know that it was what was happening while it was happening, or how did you maintain that stream?
Well, at the time, I think not, you know, we weren't really aware of that, you know. Yes and no, because when all of those names that you just mentioned, they had already put out at least one album and stuff like that. I was still more in the R&B phase and vibe and dreaming of that, you know.
Okay.
And so I was actually one of the audience. And I remember when Livity, for instance, they went to do a show right behind our house. And other places, and every time that Livity had a show, that it was packed. It was sold out, and I would be one of the one of the audience. You know, I would be in the audience.
Okay.
But I was already busy with music, so I was aware of to a certain level, but. But only later because now it's obviously it's not like that anymore. It has been like a period of time that a lot of Cape Verdean artists based in Rotterdam had a success in Palops. I don't know if there was something in the water.
Was there one?
I guess not, but I think that we had opportunities there, certain freedom.
Yeah.
I guess, and I think Grace told me that he learned, if I'm not mistaken, he learned to play drums because of how do you say that? There were organizations that were providing those type of
instruments and everything, like
that kind of stuff. I didn't have that, but there were opportunities, I guess, for us.
Yeah. I think the group was also very, very tight with each other because it felt like everybody was working with each other, man.
Well, first of all, we were part of the Capeverdean community in Rotterdam.
Yeah.
And then, to make it even smaller, the music community in Rotterdam. Yeah. So it very fast you will know pretty much who is who, and if one goes to that studio, the other one goes as well, and so you get to you meet each other at the studio or at the practice where you practice with the band, that kind of stuff,
True. Did you guys compete with each other at all?
Well,
did you ever think like, I want to take Gilles' head off, like I mean, in competition, like healthy competition,
Funny thing you mention it like that, because I was thinking like that.
See,
but in a good sense, not in a malignant kind of way, but in a competitive way. Because when I was in Splash, and I was already thinking of, I was getting the taste of it, and I was thinking, okay, I need to do my solo album as well. So I was already starting in the market, what producer should I work with, and that even though I produce also myself, but I already was making plans to produce a couple myself and work with producer A, B, and C, and all that. And you know what? Okay, Gilles there, but
coming for him.
I'm coming for him, But in
that's how you're supposed to think. That's how you're supposed to think.
But things went differently. I first had a side step. How do you say it? Yeah. My path went differently. I went out of Splash. Me and Nelson, we were contracted by a record label there.
Okay.
And so we stayed 3 years there, so with the plans of coming out with something, but that never happened. And only later. That's the reason that in a later stage that I only released my first solo album.
Okay.
Yes, which was in 2004.
We're gonna get to that, but let's. You've mentioned Splash a few times. I mean myself as well. I think from the outside looking in, I always felt that you were part of Splash, right? But that's not necessarily true, because I guess with the first album, Simplicidad, were you already involved in them or not at all?
No.
So what my question would be is, so I know Grace, Milana, and Dina were there, and Johnny, of course, as well.
Yes. Yeah.
Who created that? Johnny Fonseca, I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Who created the Splash group? Like, how was that created initially?
Okay, I don't know if I'm the right person to answer that question, because I wasn't there from the beginning. But I believe, Splash is also actually basically also for a big part Liberty, right? Because Grace Evra was there, Johnny Fonseca, Roberto Matias.
Yeah.
And who else? On keyboard? No, okay. That's it. But a significant
bass,
part of Liberty was there. But the only difference, the big difference is, of course, Joy Delgado, who was one of Cape Verde's Rotterdam top producers.
Amazing producer.
And so I guess they started it between Joy and Grace, but I don't know that exactly.
Okay. So when did they bring you in?
By that time, I created and co-created Mobass.
So that came before your journey at
yes. It was because of Mobass that I got noticed by Splash.
Okay.
And Milana went out. She stepped out, and I stepped in. They invited me, and I stepped in.
Wow.
Yeah.
But Milana was also part of Mobass, right? No.
Yeah. But Mobass, okay. But just to clarify, Splash was a band. Mobass was a project. So
okay,
that's the difference.
That's the easiest way to put it. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay,
that's a project.
That makes
That
sense.
was just a project of two producers, and Sebastian dos Santos
Okay.
from DJ Triumph, by the way, as well.
Also, yeah. Okay. All together.
He was a childhood friend, a family friend, and he, same neighborhood, blah blah blah, and all that. So he would come along. He would always, no, not always, but oftentimes he knew what I was into music, and he said, "Hey, Johnny, we should do something together."
Exactly.
But I was still in that R&B phase. I said, "Nah," I didn't want to hear it at first.
Yeah, yeah.
But still, Capeverdean, San Criollo, the influence. Besides the R&B thing and production that I had going on, I would have also Zouk productions coming up, in my brain.
No, I get
And
it.
so I did start, and then I said, okay, let's do this. And then we did Mobass, and which was simply a project of two producers combining, producing some stuff, get some singers on it, some known singers, which were at the time Grace and Dina. We wanted more, but we didn't get more, and some new talent, which was me, myself, and I.
Of course, yeah.
Quattro, their debut was on Mobass.
On Mobass, yeah.
The real,
right?
Hoje em Dia, The Real Vibe, which I already had co-produced their album which was released a year prior to that. Milena was already with her solo album, where we also, as Mobass, produced that song Ilusão,
which was amazing. Yeah.
Which and that was, by the way, my first appearance vocally, in the Palops market.
And you produced that song as well?
It was more Sebastian, I must be honest, but I did a little bit of
that song. You guys put blues in it. You guys put everything, like even the way you said the doo-wop. Like
the whoop-up. Okay, yeah, but that's the R&B influence, because if you're from that time, you will know that's actually from that group called En Vogue, I think.
Yeah.
Pop, da, 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 da,
I know, but to make it fit into a Capeverdean song.
Yeah.
And then with that guitar that you guys put it, that song was amazing, man. Amazing. Hats off for sure. For sure.
Well, thank you.
So you get into Splash, or at least let's say they recruit you off of your work on Mobass. How? Just give me a peek inside of the studio. How would you guys work with each other? Would it basically be everybody together and we're just going to create a song? Because what I notice a lot of times is that you would sing Tem Fé. Grace would do, was Isolado on that? Isolado. Everybody would kind of have like a song to stand out, and then sometimes you guys would do like Arrependimento, that you and Dina would do a song. Was it that you had, hey, I have this song Tem Fé, and let me sing it to you guys and let's make it? Or was it just everybody's contribution at the same time?
First of all, I think Splash was a complicated band at that, because there were normally what you have when you have a band and you have one lead singer.
Yeah.
But you had Grace, you had Dina, and first Milena, and then, and then with me, so you had three lead singers actually.
Yeah.
So you have to, when we made the album, of course, then you have to divide the songs, Okay, you take that one, you take that one, and of course we should do some stuff together,
Exactly.
And with the songs, the way it happened was like a song could have been. I always use the term born, born, but with joy. He came up with some idea, but then in the later process, everyone could add his thing. Well, being a band, of course, they would add their playing, right?
Yeah.
Because Johnny would obviously do the guitars,
Exactly.
Roberto the bass.
And back then, you guys were basically doing this live, right? Like, as far as recording the instrument.
Yes. We went. Well, Splash was recorded in a studio in Amsterdam. We would go like for 2 weeks, I think, every day up and down, to Amsterdam to record in a studio over there. And Tem Fe, actually, was produced by a cousin of Manu Soares. His name is Nelson something else. I forgot the last name. But actually, the idea came from him, the music idea.
Okay.
So, and it got introduced. Okay, and I don't really recall every step of the creation.
I get it. You was
process,
just,
but
just living in it.
I just know that the melody came up, and I started. Sometimes you just come up with a phrase, but you don't even know yet what you're gonna write about. But the phrase just hits right, sounds right, and then you're gonna okay. But what should this be about? Okay, and then we start writing. You know,
was it for you? Was it intimidating to be in the studio with like a Grace, Johnny, somebody that Joy,
No.
All those guys? Or were you like, nah, I'm him. I
no, it wasn't intimidating because I was already busy with music. I had the experience of working on the Mobass project, and where Grace also participated, by the way, and Dina. So I already had a little bit of that producer experience under the belt from one project. And
you did make Damas Chance was on Mobass.
Yes.
Perdão was on Mobass.
Yes.
Shit, I don't even have to keep going.
Damas, mine.
From those type of mine, we just spoke about Ilusão. Hoje em dia, like I could get that you were already like, okay, wait a minute, I know what I'm doing here.
Yeah, no, I was to be honest, not to say cocky, but I was confident. About my creativity and about my musical hearing.
Yeah,
maybe other stuff not that much, but those two, no.
Definitely.
Yeah. And melodies, yes.
Exactly.
I was very convinced of my melodies. Not to say that it should always be my melody, but I felt always very strongly about them, and that's this is the right melody. Let's do it like this.
That's your specialty.
Yeah.
And they embraced your skill as well, right? Like Grace would be like, yo, you got this.
No, okay, but as far as Grace is concerned, he would do his own thing melody wise and lyric wise.
Of course.
I'm talking more about if it's the Mobass project, the more inexperienced singers at the time. Okay. DJ Triumph, who were DJs, and they were singing.
Shout out to them, man.
Yeah, Quattro. Also, I had to guide them vocally. Okay. I was
totally get it. I totally get it. Because like I said, from the outside looking in, it felt like Splash was something that was going to continue forever. Because I saw after a while, did they bring Dennis Graça into as well as a?
That's when I stepped out. I had to step out, and then Dennis Graça and I think José Zancot, another a cousin of mine. They
kind of took over that as well. Mm-hmm. Okay. Would you like recreate a group again? Would you still love to be part of a group, or are you at this moment you're like
no. Yeah? Too old for that.
Nah, come on, dude. Don't say that.
No, really. No, okay. I mean, you never say never, but no, I'm more focused on doing my own thing, as a solo artist. Maybe project wise, but really to get into a band or something or a group. Mm-hmm. No, I don't really see that happening, actually. Okay. Yeah.
So, just for timeline's sake, Miss Jane Records, this was created after your time with Splash or before?
No, after. Way after.
Okay, way after. Okay. Because that was you along with Nelson Freitas. Mm-hmm. Eddie Parker was in there as well.
Yes.
And
Adelson.
Tootstar, right?
Tootstar, yes.
Tootstar, yeah. Amazing producer too. I like him a lot. I like him a lot. Shout out to all those guys. Miss Jane Records. What was that again? Initiated by you guys just wanted to do it? Or were you really signed? Because you said something that somebody signed you to that.
Well, the way that happened was like I said, I had to step out of Splash, and because while being on Splash, I still had that R&B dream.
Yeah.
That or R&B / pop dream,
You wanted to be outside of the box.
So I would continue with my demos. Mm-hmm. Well, one of my and the right track at the time that boy band kind of thing. We split up, but I wanted to continue, and Nelson also wanted to continue. Okay. Nelson at the final stage, he also got into the right track. Okay. But that was we had like 7 years of existence, so like the last 2 years, he was also in it.
Okay.
So we split up, but Nelson wanted to continue. I wanted to continue, so we continued sort of as a duo.
Yeah, because you guys are family. Like
he's
like primos, right?
Your sobrinho.
Sobrinho. Oh.
Yeah, I'm his uncle.
Okay, that's dope.
But we have a different age difference of nearly 2 years. So.
Yeah, we know how that is.
Yeah,
For sure.
So while I was on Splash, one of our demos got noticed by a producer. His name, well, you probably know the name, Wessel van Diepen. He was a famous person in the Netherlands. Well, not that famous anymore because he's more in the background. He's more a radio person than a TV personality.
He created a lot of groups out
there. But no, he and his company were the producers behind Benga Boys.
That's right. Yep.
So,
for sure.
So we got noticed by them and signed by them.
Okay.
We for 3 years we went like almost every day from Rotterdam to Hilversum.
Oh man, hey,
and there we, okay, like I said, at the end nothing came out. But what we did learn was, well, I got in as a novice producer, not knowing that much yet. But I came out, knowing more about the producing, learning how to use also. Well, while you produce, also mix already, use effects and all that. Nelson came in just, as a guy with ideas, but for songwriting, but then developed as a songwriter and also as a beat maker. Yeah. So it definitely helped us.
Good educational.
Yes. Journey. And after that, when that was that didn't work out the way we wanted to. And so we decided, okay, you know what? We're going to do this ourselves. We're going to create our label. And then Edson and Adilson got involved. Miss Jane is, by the way, just the first letter of each name, Johnny, Adilson, Nelson, Edson, so Jane. And the Miss is just to add some sexiness to it.
Hey, it worked. It worked.
And
sure.
Yeah, so, and the first album, so... everything was new for us at a label, from a label point of view. We didn't know really what to do, how to do it, but you
learned.
We did it anyways.
Sure.
And then came my first album, solo album, So Jota.
Yeah.
And this was in 2004.
Why didn't it work over at the label? Why didn't that work?
Why? That's too long of a story.
Too long.
then we need to add another. Then we have to do a podcast series.
Well, okay, let me ask you this then: what would you have done different now, knowing in hindsight? Yeah.
In hindsight, I would have said not just for me, but some stuff happened and we weren't able to maintain our calm and just say, okay, this happened. It's effed up, but let's work through this because we got this big thing now, and let's work through this, and it will be all right in the end. Yeah. We didn't have the patience or the state of mind to do that, and unfortunately, so we split up.
Yeah. Okay.
And
well, I'm happy that you guys didn't stop though, because.
Well, no, we couldn't stop with music, but but it's unfortunately it stopped, but we managed to, I think, put something in the market that changed the market.
Exactly.
And in hindsight, again, actually, it already started with Mobass, but at the time I didn't know.
Okay. Okay. No. So you finished that part of your journey, and now it was finally time for your first debut album as a solo artist, which is So Jota.
Yes.
How did it feel to basically be the one driving the car this time around? Because, before that, you still had to be kind of dependent of other people's taste, but this was actually a project where you could say, this song is going on there, this is not going on there. I want this changed. How was that process?
Well, it still was a group process because, but okay, less than with Splash, of course, but still was a little bit of a group process because of we were working together as a label, and they would have influence also on what was going on and not, but having the experience of the early years, I was also at that point at the time very confident what would go on and not. Well, not necessarily what would work though. To be honest,
I think you're being very humble right now.
No, because I'm meaning more. What happened was, I've been always confident of my creative process and my creative juices, so to speak.
Yeah.
But what happened during that time that we were in the studio, I would make the beat pattern, right?
Yeah.
But Nelson would choose the sounds.
Okay.
And that's a very important part of the beat making process or songwriting or for a beat to work.
Sure.
Because if the combination of the sounds don't match that good, it could. It will influence the success of a song. Sure. And I had lost touch of that actually because the roles were, I got lazy at that.
That's honest.
At that department,
But come on, man. This is an album that has Largal is on there.
Yeah.
Jam Kakre is on there. Boa Morto Completado is on there. Live Up and May is on there. Like, come on, dog. This I tell you, this is by far one of my favorite Capeverdean artists.
Shout out to
for sure.
Yeah, shout out to Kino, by the way, because it's his production and No Live Up and May.
On which one?
No Live Up and May.
That's his production?
Yes.
Oh, shout out to
I did.
How did he give that to you? I would have been like, nah, bro, this is staying there.
No. Well, I did. I don't recall. That's the thing with me. I have a bad memory, but but I do always do some stuff. But the mother load of that song it's his.
It's his.
Yeah, I cannot claim it.
Nice, man.
Production wise.
Yeah.
And yes,
Also
and because it came out on a project prior to my first album, on a compilation album. Okay. But it was such a good song. We said no, we're gonna put it on my album too.
Oh, that song.
So
that's that. The songs, the last 5 minutes of the party. Like, hey,
no live up on me. But you mentioned Largal. Largal is what I consider the first Ghettozouk.
That's true. That was gonna be my next question. Like, that's the first time I think I heard Ghettozouk said on a record. I could be wrong, but for me, in my experience, you were the one that came up with that. Not that phrase and also that style. Like, I'm just gonna put you as a father, even if you don't take it. But
now, go
ahead.
The phrase. Well, like I said, we were a group, so the phrase didn't really necessarily come from me. No, it didn't come from me. I think Adelson was the one who came up with it. Yeah. It's Nelson who says it. Yeah. I know on Largal. Ghettozouk, yeah.
Oh, that's him? Yeah.
Yeah, it's his voice.
Oh, because you see his face.
Yeah. And people, just by saying that, people sometimes think that, you have duet together. Largal. No, it's not duet. He's just saying Ghettozouk. Yeah. But anyways.
Largal was
on what can I say? Largal, I'm proud of that song.
Yeah, 100%.
There, again, you hear the influence of the R&B thing. We were at that time the first album of Justin Timberlake had dropped, and we were listening to it.
It's amazing,
like 24/7.
Yeah.
And there's the way Largar is, Largar.
Yeah.
Da, 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 da. Yeah. But you have a song of Justin like. Oh no! Oh no! It's a Timberland production.
Don't do that. No. There's an influence there, but you didn't.
Yes, that's. Yeah. But the way it works, it's in your you are what you eat, right? Yeah, that's what they say. So you are also what you listen to as a producer. So you'll just take it up soak it in your subconscious, and when you start working, those things.
And those comes out. Yeah, those comes out. But to be that doesn't. You just said that, but that song, Johnny Ramos song. I didn't see no Justin Timberlake.
No, but I'm not saying, I sat down and I'm gonna like copy paste or whatever.
Yeah.
But you're influenced by it. So and then
that's great. And so Ghettozouk, it was said on the record, could be just a vibe in the studio that somebody came up with. When did it become a style? Because that became a style of music after a while.
I guess so.
With that dirty bass, and it became really.
Yeah, for sure. And people might be confused, and even I at certain times I'm confused about when I can use the term Ghettozouk and when not. But that being said, the way I define it is it's when that zouk or Cabo Love or zouk, whatever type of music has that like hip hop kind of vibe that you don't necessarily need to dance to it. You can also vibe to it, bounce your head to it, Then that's Ghettozouk.
That's Ghettozouk. That's true. In us as the audience, as the people that were dancing, that was the time that all the lights had to come off, bro. Because Ghettozouk, that lived on for me. La Time, like all those records, that was I'm telling you, when that came on, it was tough. It was very tough. I have always said that about you. Like you're very versatile. Like you have so many different areas where you can go. Like that's why when I listen to your albums, I could tell you were talking about very soulful. When I listen to a song like Silhouette Linda, like those type of songs, it's not anybody that can always make those type of songs. Is it important? The album creation, is that an important process for you? Because especially in this era right now where artists are living off hits instead of albums, I always say that you need to have an album as an artist to graduate as a real artist. Is that still something that you love to do, the album making process?
Being from that time, being old school, so to speak, I do love it. I do like it. But I also recognize that the market has changed, and if you just and it has changed. But what is similar to that time, even though you would drop an album, but they would also release singles, and those singles were supposed to carry the albums to grab the attention, right? Always. Because those were the hits, the songs that you would choose as a single. So in that aspect, it hasn't changed that much. Only that nowadays you don't necessarily need to drop a whole album, of course, exactly. and with the whole social media thing and the marketing and all that has changed quite a bit, of course.
I like it for the artists because it makes them eat, basically. They can basically have 2 or 3 hits and then just go on tour and do all those shows. But I think it's like, sometimes I feel like it's cheating. Yeah. Like, come on, like, especially for you guys, the way you had to do it back then. Like, for me, if you haven't created an album like a So Jota album where you basically have to think about the first record has to sound like this, the second, I need this type of vibe in there because I don't have it. That, to me, is what certifies an artist. Would you agree?
I guess so. I don't.
Don't piss nobody off.
No. I don't mind speaking my mind, but I just can say that I do enjoy that process, and actually, talking about So Jota and also my second album, I got and going back to my influences, Guy. At that time, I would listen a lot to Guy, Ted Riley, obviously the big producer behind that. And what I noticed was back in that, I would be able to listen from the first song till the last song. So that would be my goal when I would create an album. So I want to create an album that will captivate the audience, the public, and that will be interested in from the beginning till the last song. If I succeeded, I don't know, but I tried. That's my goal, anyways.
You did, and you didn't just do it once. Then you came with, was it Corpo Alma that came after So Jota? Was there one in between there?
Yeah, I did a EP before I released the second album. That was Corpi Alma.
Corpo Alma, yeah.
Yes, and then came the second album, which was the Future.
The Future, yes. The Future. Was it the future, the present, and does it have?
Yeah. Well, there was an idea to when we. So, Betty, wait a minute. I'm mixing it up. You said Corpi Alma and I got confused. No. Yeah. Corpi Alma was later. Before the Future came the present. Yes, and the idea was to, and I don't think we did it because I only released the present and the future. Mm-hmm. That's it. And then
to be the past too?
Maybe something like that. Well, there was some idea behind it, but we didn't follow through. Yeah. But
you experimented a lot on that album. I felt on that Future album for sure because it sounded like you wanted to take a step into like the R&B and really embrace that. Maybe it was the Ghettozouk sound, but the album felt a bit different from what So Jota was. Is that true to say? Yeah, of course. Yeah. I mean, an album actually every song that you do is like sort of taking a picture. Exactly. When you take a picture today, when we take a picture today, and we meet up next year and we take another picture. Was okay. We might look a little bit the same, but we're still 100%, different 100%. And different phase of our lives. Maybe something has happened in between. True. You know, and the same goes for when you're creating music. So you're never gonna do, in my opinion, be able or to do the same, or nor should you want to. I guess do it. Yeah, I totally get it.
And at the end of the day, besides being a singer, I'm an artist actually, and I like to express myself in different ways.
That's true.
Even though people put a label on you, or you should do this, or do another Tim Fair, or do another Largal, but I don't think that's really possible. Well, it is possible if you very consciously say, okay, I'm gonna follow that pattern, choose those sounds, and then it will come out more or less.
Yeah, of course.
But then again, I don't really want that.
No, you want to evolve as an artist as well. You don't want to stay in the same place. And usually people, they have their own, what do you call it? They like, this is what you should do this way, and that might not be you at that moment. You know what I mean? You might have already been further into it for sure. No, I get that. That Angelina album, bro. I had to go back to it and listen. It's a great album.
Thank you. It's an underappreciated album.
Yeah,
I think.
I feel like it. I was going through it. Of course, Tuiel is like, my wife should say, shout out to my wife. That's her song.
Wow.
It's like, she's crazy about that song. But then you go and you start listening to what you did with Dino de Santiago, what you did with Grace, with Nostalgia.
Nostalgia,
amazing. Preferir-me, Afastar. Like, all those records, I'm like, damn, this is another great one. And I never felt that it got its just due. Can I say that? Yeah, well, I believe so.
Yeah. I think, it came out at a time that, well, the market's keeps changing, obviously, and because now, the day of this recording, I think it's more like Afro house or Afro whatever. It's that's dominating, right?
Don't get me started.
So and back when I released Angelina, it was already had already shifted.
Yeah, it started.
But I'm getting older. I'm not getting younger, right? So I want to also do music. I don't want to do all the time music that only puts me in the clubs, right?
Populars, yeah.
So that's why actually it already started at So Jota. That's why Silhouette Linda.
Yeah.
That's just because that's another part of me.
Yeah, sure.
Artistically, I also would.
By the way, you got to perform that with an orchestra one day.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if you've ever done it, but that
I did perform it with a violin player
sure.
last year. That was amazing. So with an orchestra, that would be
out of this world, right? Yeah.
Sure. But no. So what can I say? So that's why I put a sort of a coladeira, which is Angelina.
Yep.
And then Nostalgia is also a little bit more terra.
So, for sure.
You know, and yeah, I love Morna, and I wanted to do a Morna as well.
Love that.
And that turned out to be with Dino, the Santiago, who is amazing, by the way.
Yes.
He got into the studio. I sent him the song, but he did that thing in like 2 takes and a half or something like that. And
works that quickly.
Wow. Amazing, good, very, very good artist.
Yeah, no, he's.
Yeah.
I always say that he's been praised, and he deserves all the praises that he gets, for sure. One more question about the Angelina. Mm-hmm. Where did that name come from?
That's the name of my daughter.
Oh, okay.
So as soon as my daughter was born, the melody came to me.
Okay.
But only into her 7th year, I think. Mm-hmm. Eight or something. I wrote that song. Actually, I was writing that song, but nothing was perfect because I wanted it to be perfect. Yeah, but I wanted it to be so perfect that I couldn't. You know, I put a lot of pressure on myself. Yeah. So I only had the melody and the phrase Angelina. Mm-hmm. But luckily, another Rotterdam-based singer and songwriter, William Araújo.
Of course.
Who's I had already worked with.
It's been on my show as well. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, no. You know what? Then at a certain point, I realized, no, I shouldn't write this. Someone else should write it. So he got involved.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, he was able to write it. Yeah. And it's actually it's an homage, as so to speak, for my daughter.
For your daughter. That's amazing, man. Yeah, you got that. You got Mine as well. That I know it wasn't on that album, but that song is also
Mine. Yeah, that's homage to the mothers. Yeah, you have to mix it up a little bit.
You got it all.
You cannot always sing all about I love you and you love me and blah blah blah.
It's funny. You can perform on Mother's Day, on Father's Day, or you got a song for everything like that.
Yeah. We should do the whole.
I know. Let's get into a few questions about live performances. Do you enjoy live performances, or are you more of a studio rat? Like, what do you like best?
No, I do. Well, if all the conditions are right, that is but that's almost never the case, like 100%. But okay, when it's near right, so that you have a good sound. Yeah. A good band, the groove is right. Yep. You have rehearsed as it should be, properly.
Exactly.
Then live is amazing.
Amazing, right?
Yeah. Because I think it's all about having fun on stage. Yeah. And really performing.
Yeah, of course.
And I like that aspect.
Letting go of it, yeah.
But I also like the studio
creation process.
The creation part. Actually, I like that the versatility of being an artist, of doing having different aspects. I like that actually.
No, for sure. You're somebody that has experimented a lot with, let's say, outros ritmos, in the CV genres. What is your favorite genre outside of CV music, and would you ever make an album in that genre?
Well, back in the days, it would be R&B.
Yeah, for sure.
And the answer is yes, I would. Again, for that reason that for the artist point of view, you like it's nice to do something different, challenge yourself.
For sure.
Not even necessarily to have success with it, but just to create.
To do it,
yeah. But if it sounds great or good, and then you can also say, oh, maybe we should release it. Okay. I have some Dutch written songs written in Dutch, but I've never released it. But
why not try?
Yeah,
I think you would do amazing in that field right now too. Like, one more question I have for you. This is more it's a more personal question. You have your hands in many things, right? Like you're a singer, you're a songwriter, you're a producer, all that. What do you feel is like your specialty once you get in the studio? What's one thing that you're like, okay, this is what I do? Like,
to be honest, no, it's again the mix of things, not only one thing, but it sounds maybe strange, but I wouldn't necessarily, even though I enjoy being on stage, but I don't necessarily enjoy having the spotlight on me, being a singer as much as I when I'm in the background, in the studio.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, my personality is more like keep
shine on the others.
Yeah,
that makes sense with what you did with Mobass and how you try to get every artist in there to create it.
I guess I mean, okay. I am what I am right now, and people do ask me, and they promoters they do book me, and I go there and do my thing. But if I could have, I don't have a problem with just creating songs and being in the background. Actually,
yeah. Do young artists ever call you, or just artists of this era call you and say, "Hey, Johnny, I need something from you, like a beat or a song"?
Well, now mostly it would be my participation, my voice actually. Not the producer thing got left behind a little bit, I haven't produced actually myself for a while, and it's more that they ask me for my voice or my name, I guess, a combination of both. Okay. Or something like that,
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, I'm surprised at that, actually. I would definitely call you.
Yeah, I would have to get into it again, Like I said, the last production of mine is A Minha Dama, and that's of the Angelina album, and also Angelina. Yeah. And I produce differently now, less electronic and more with live instruments.
Okay. Yeah.
I think that's a part of the journey,
of course, evolution. You know what you're doing. We mentioned, I want to touch real quick on this. We mentioned Nelson Freitas before, being family, and also being at the start of everything that you did. What is your working relationship with him now? Do you guys still trade ideas? Do you guys still talk about music at all?
Well, every now and then. We've short story, we've grown apart.
Okay.
He lives in Portugal. I still live in Holland. Yeah. Besides all of the traveling that we do.
Yeah, of course.
Him more than even more, of course. Okay. And that's just life, right?
Yeah, of course.
But when we get together, we talk about everything, the family stuff. Yeah. Sometimes about music, and but
are you surprised to where he went with his with his trip, because he did skyrocket and found a brand that was out of the world?
No, I mean, not really surprised. I think, and I wouldn't be surprised if he took it even further, because he has also with his latest album, he's definitely went into another direction, and knocking on the doors of the Afro beats. No, Afro beats.
Don't say Afro pop, bro. I hate that word.
Afro. Yeah, no, I don't know the terms. I mean, I'm getting old. No, the Afro beat thing, and I wouldn't be surprised if he managed to do it as well, a breakthrough. Yeah. Because if I analyze his career from the beginning, he has been able to very well manage his career.
Very well.
Picking the right songs for him. He's a very good songwriter. He has the ability, I think, to come up with very how do you say, catchy melodies, and very easy to sing along with. So there's his success is not is it's very well managed by him, and
unexpected.
one side management, and one other side his talent.
Styling as well. Because Magic album, that was the last album. Were you involved with that album at all as well?
Yeah.
That
That was
around Miss
the
Jane,
last that album, and Chelsea Chantel's album was. Those were the last Miss Jane projects. You
Okay,
could say.
okay.
So I was still involved with that a little bit as a
Nice.
co-producing and some vocal things.
It's an amazing album as well.
Yeah.
Amazing album as well. I'm going to ask you a few quick hits, like your favorites. So just whatever comes to mind.
Okay.
Let me know. All right?
All right.
Your favorite CV album of all time?
CV album.
Yeah. Besides yourself.
Favorite.
You can give me top 3 if you have it. But
I guess I would have to say one of the Cape Show albums because of the childhood influence.
René Cabral and
Ian Bourget, no?
Bourget,
But I'm not, I am an admirer, but I'm not a fan as other artists are, with all the respect.
Yeah.
But I, of course, recognize their influence, and I do like the songs. And like I said, childhood memories.
That show was amazing.
I guess Tubarões would follow up on that because that's part of my adolescence, you know?
Yeah, of course.
So 3 albums, CV, okay. Yeah,
Right? It's a lot.
So yeah, Liberty, yes, Liberty.
You just gave my 3 favorites.
Yes.
Yeah, that Liberty.
And
album
not just Liberty.
yeah, just
The whole thing.
Yeah, I'd go with Praçazul for sure. But
Yeah.
I totally get it. What's the top 3 songs that you created for you?
The best.
Your favorite.
My favorite 3 songs.
Doesn't have to be the most popular. Just
Yeah.
your 3 favorites.
I like Jean Cacré from the first album.
Yes.
I'm gonna pick The Outsiders. Angelina,
Yes.
and let me see from the future. Sonos Dois.
So nos dos. Okay. Perfect. I like that you picked The Outsiders. All right. All the other ones are obvious. 3 songs that you created for others. Top 3.
Meu Anjo from Nsoki.
For who?
Nsoki, the
Okay.
Angolan singer.
Okay.
O meu anjo. Da, 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 da.
Yeah.
For others, I haven't. Okay.
Yes, you have.
Sibucre, Quattro.
You did that?
Yeah,
No, wait. What did you do?
I produced it. I'm the. That was one of my first productions, actually.
Baby making music, bro. What is that?
So Sibucre, Quattro, and Soki. Production, right? Or that I'm involved.
Songwriting, yeah. Production. Like if you're not there, it sounds different.
So let me see. For others, then I would have to call, say, Quadradinho, Yola Rouge. I didn't produce it, but I co-produced it, and my melody is in there. Quadradinho, da 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 da.
Forgot about that song, bro.
Yeah.
I forgot about that song.
So I would say,
Nice. Love that. Love that. Who's your favorite CV artist out now? Anybody that you like?
Favorite CV artist. I don't know a lot of the new cats, but
Happens a lot.
yeah, but Gato, he made me listen, or he showed me some songs but I forgot his name. Is this young dude from Praia? He sings nice, very nice voice, but I cannot come up with a name now. So,
really?
But favorite? Well, Georgie is one of my favorites, I think.
Yeah.
Mayra Andrade.
Mayra Andrade?
Yeah, actually, she's on the top.
Yeah?
Yeah, because she's more than just a singer. She's a real,
I get it.
true 100% artist. I mean, if she would come up tomorrow and she would say, "Hey, I have a exposition of my paintings," I would believe it, and it would have probably be good. I mean, she like.
I understand why you
Yeah,
like
she's
an
an
artist
artist,
like
man.
that because of the style that she created herself as well. It's like she has her own style.
Yeah,
It's
she's
crazy.
amazing.
You would work with her?
No.
Would you work with her?
Oh, if I would, no, obviously, of course.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Hey, got there. Yeah, that's what we're going to be my next question. Favorite artist you would like to work with that you haven't worked with? 'Cause you've worked with a lot.
CV again related, right?
Let's do one CV, one
Yeah.
outside.
Okay. Yeah, obviously Maida. Yeah, there are a lot actually. Bourget and Bourget Mendes and also a lot of artists that it actually should have been obvious that we had worked together by now
Yeah.
because of the same background, but we haven't yet.
Like who?
So, like the whole Rotterdam scene, more or less, you know, and the big names: Gilles Semedo, Beto Diaz, Suzanne
You
Lurana.
never worked with Jill?
No. So, and we talked about it last year. So we should actually put in the effort and do it. We
man.
both want to, but yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
I would.
For those reasons, I would like to do it,
do it as
with
well.
them. Yeah.
All right. I have one more for you. No, two more. Your favorite CV producer all time? You love working with?
Then I would have to go out of the out of the CV and name a couple.
Yeah, go ahead.
Ted Riley, Timbaland, Pharrell.
Pharrell.
Babyface.
If you like
those are my influences, man. Come on. Those are my heroes.
Oh
So
my God, those guys are amazing. Those guys are amazing. Ted Riley. Who's the other guys that I'm thinking about that you probably love too?
at that time, yeah, of course, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis.
Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. That's what
But
I'm talking about.
I even though I recognize Game, of course, but they weren't necessarily 100% my vibe. But of course, but I would lean more towards Ted Riley.
And Teddy. Teddy is amazing, man.
And Babyface, actually.
Sure.
Yeah.
Last one. Your favorite performance? Your favorite live performance that you've done. Yeah, you're like, man, the stage is still on fire right now.
Now, okay. I have to also mention a few, but it's just because of that first time experience, you know. Sure. So the first time I came to US before, for instance, with Splash, I've never had witnessed that. Well, it was first time in US, and it was an amazing response of the crowd. Yeah. So that stuck. And the performance in Sal that we did, that same thing, you know, because of the reaction. First time Angola.
But I think I saw you guys at Bahia. Were you there? Actually,
and with Splash, yeah, but that's in my
was 97.
98, 97, 98,
yeah, I was there.
Yeah, but I wouldn't call that my favorite because I was still struggling with type of certain stuff, you know, and it was all new to me. I wasn't really confident on stage.
Hey, it looked great. It looked great. I was there, and that was one of my all-time favorite performances because that was amazing, man. That was amazing. Okay. You last year you celebrated your 30-year career in Rotterdam with Don Kiekers was there as well. I saw Grace.
Yes.
Johnny Ramos, of course.
Milana was there.
How was that feeling, man, to do a show like that? Because it looked
stressful.
Amazing. It was stressful.
Stressful because I was also a part of. It was like a own production. With a partner, obviously, but still, I was also responsible for other stuff other than being just the singer.
Exactly.
And stressful to that part, but it was nice. We had a full house. Luckily, we had a full house, and people liked it. It didn't go perfect. but it went well enough for to satisfy the audience,
Okay.
and yeah,
Okay. No,
that's what you aim
great.
for.
That's great. That's great. How was that? Was there a surreal feeling of like, damn, it's been 30 years? 'Cause I don't think you even.
No,
Once
no,
you're
no.
going through
I've actually not really. It hasn't sunk in yet, I guess. I mean, you give it. It's more of a commercial thing, obviously.
Yeah, of course.
You know, you give it a label. Yeah, 30 years, blah blah blah, and all
Yeah.
that. But I haven't really
Hasn't
had that
sunk in.
feelings of wow, man, damn, 30 years.
30 years in.
Maybe you're now making me aware of this.
Maybe because you keep going. Come on, you're gonna keep going. You still got so much to go. You know,
Well,
maybe
I'm
that-
gonna
maybe that's-
retire very soon.
Oh,
So
don't do that. Don't do that.
Please,
Don't
let
say
me
that. Don't say
retire.
that here. Say that somewhere.
No, 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 no. But I'm planning. But no, I want to put out some new stuff. But I do mean it when I say no. But at a certain point, I don't want to be in clubs anymore. Or no. Or perform at 1 o'clock, 12 o'clock. No, no.
Wait,
Give me
you
the
mentioned- you
early
mentioned-
stuff.
You mentioned an artist of your. You mentioned Boji Mendes. I can see you. I don't want to say. I can see you in that space, you know, where acoustic and
Yeah.
where it more looks like that, because you can do all of that. You're versatile like that. You know, you can write those type of songs, and you can also perform in that type of environment. Like maybe that's, you know, maybe
Yeah,
that's a good.
yeah.
a
But
good-
it's
a
a
good
very consciously. Besides being pure, it comes really from an artistic
yeah.
mind, but also consciously, I have put Silhouette Linda in that first album, and on the second album, I've done Dor de Separação, which is a ballad bolero kind of type, and now the Marna on the Angelina album.
Yeah.
I do it consciously because, like I said, I'm preparing myself for the future,
course.
and maybe later I'll be seeing more Marnas and more relaxed and
Of course.
do those type of shows or events. You know,
Exactly. I would definitely see you in that. What has been your biggest challenge, man, in this journey of yours? I mean, you know, we don't often talk about, you know, mental health right now is like is a very big topic, and it's been brought to the forefront of all topics, you know, and which I think is actually very important. But artists struggle with that a lot. Most artists
With mental
struggle
health?
with that, with that a lot.
really? Okay.
With the balance of mental health,
Oh.
having to perform, dealing with the anxiety of being on stage, dealing with everything having to be perfect. You know, depression is of course a whole nother thing. But did you ever struggle with any of that,
No, not
or were there any other challenges that you did struggle with?
well. There are definitely challenges, and actually the challenge is more that. In a way that I'm gonna be open and frank about it because we don't. I feel we don't have to hide from the truth, right? And even though I'm Johnny Ramos, 30 years career, I know I have successes out there, but the fact of the matter is, my struggle is it's not something that maybe I should be at that stage, but I'm not. That I could live 100% of music. You know, I've been there, but then again, I haven't been there.
Yeah.
You know, ups and downs. So that's actually the struggle
Biggest struggle, yeah.
to do that. And well, it is what it is.
It is hard though. It is hard.
Yeah, and sometimes people it's hard to believe. You know, come on, you're Johnny Ramos, blah blah blah, or whatever. You should have been rich by now, or something like that. But it isn't. You know, and so that's I guess the struggle. You know, just to live, survive. Build on your dreams, have your private life, your family, and construct your life. You know,
Yeah.
that's
Sure.
it. Actually,
No, I totally get you. I totally get you. You mentioned family. How's the family life, man?
good.
The importance of family.
The family is important. Well, I tend to whenever I'm here, I try to look up family.
Yeah.
As my uncle is here right now.
Yeah, of course. Shout out to him.
And also went to see a couple of cousins. And back at home in Holland, I enjoy the family parties. You know, whenever there's a birthday, a wedding,
course.
that type of stuff. Because as life is what it is. It's not only the good things, but also not necessarily bad, but we experience it a lot of times as bad because when we lose someone that's close to us.
Yeah.
But those are the things that makes part of life.
Part of life, yeah.
As well. So and being and getting older and losing more and more, of course, people along the way.
Stuff.
You get more conscious about it and try to enjoy it even more. Those moments,
That's
with family.
Attitude. That's a good attitude towards it, man. Because some people, close down. When in actuality, you're gonna have to it would be better if you enjoy life in that matter.
Hey, it is. It is part of life. It's man. The universal law.
I was father life, being a dad.
Good.
Because your daughter is what, teenage now, or
she's 14. Yeah. No, but she's a
great age.
She's calm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she lives with a mom. She doesn't live with me. We got separated, and so I don't have to. Well, I would love to, but it's not how the situation is.
Okay.
But she's good.
Yeah,
we're good. I'm good about it, and we see each other regularly. And I love her. She loves me, and that's all that counts.
That's all that counts, bro. That's all that counts. The CVMA, the awards, the Capeverdean Music Awards, just passed, and anybody that watches my show knows that I've been critical.
Okay.
But I have given a lot of criticism to the CVMA, but not. For me, the thing is, I feel, in my opinion, it's a very important organization. It's a very important award. I just feel that there's a few things that they need to change, but that's just my personal opinion. How important is it to you for awards, just in general? Has that ever been an importance to you?
Well, being an artist who has never, not only received one back in the days with Mobass.
One CVMA award?
No, another. We had at the time we had something in Rotterdam as well. Capeverdean whatever award.
Yeah. Okay.
And so we won best compilation album with Mobass at the time. And I think it's good and nice to have something like that. It's a certain recognition, and it's important, but it's not that important as well. But I would lie if I wouldn't say that I would be glad if I would win an award or get an award for something, because it's a recognition of your work,
sure.
and something you created. So, but the recognition you also get from, but just people coming up to you and telling about a song that influenced or changed their life or helped them. In the case of Tim Fair and that kind of stuff.
You have many of those. Man.
Yeah, but I do. It's a good thing initiative that they started it, and hopefully they can
just get better.
Continue,
and better, right? Yeah, for sure. We were lucky enough to be from the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s to see that the evolution of Holland and the Capeverdean Dutch environment. What happened, bro? I mean, we went from New Pinche to Vanilla to King's Place. I was just in Holland the other day, and I was looking for Capeverdean parties, and I couldn't find it. Like, what do you think happened? Was the biggest change in that? Because it felt like it was a melting pot at one time, and then it kind of died down a little bit all the way. Do you understand what I mean by that, or do you agree with that?
Till a certain point, I guess. What happened was nothing more, nothing less than it's just a sign of the times,
It's over for us.
No, it's just the world is a dynamic place.
Yeah, true.
Nothing ever stays the same, true. That goes for a lot of things. So that goes probably for everything. So, and that goes also for that period of time that we were dominating as Rotterdam, the Rotterdam Capeverdean community in the Palops. That time has gone, And
do you think it's ever going to go back there? Because I felt
maybe I'm not. I don't know.
Because I kind of feel like every let's say a country has like their era. Like when I came to like I remember when America was on fire as well. When you know JJ came out and Timmy, right?
Timmy, yes.
With that whole movement, you know, even later with Easy Daughters, Jusela, and all those other guys, what they all did, I feel like it always travels. It's been in Portugal for way too long, in my opinion.
For way too long.
But
I think Portugal.
Where do you think it goes next, or do you think it ever goes back to?
It's tough because especially now. I don't know. It's tough to say because now we're living in the era of the Afro
beats.
Yeah. Dominant,
Yeah.
you know, and where does it go to next? What is happening now? Obviously, is that we're being influenced by it, and now you have I think the Trancafolias and all that that are influenced by that, and so but they put their own twist on it by doing it in Criollo, right? Yeah. But it's actually nothing different from what we did back in the day. We were more influenced by, in my case, R&B and Zouk. Yeah. So we did the Zouk with R&B influence, and we sang Criollo. And I'm pretty sure. And that time we got criticized by certain hardcore traditional music lovers, and they would say, no, that's not real Capeverdean music and all that. Yeah. And now I think you get the same thing with them, and like I said, it's always a dynamic process. Things changes. It goes for music style, parties. Even those things are also recycled, right? Yeah. And also with the scene of going out. Also, the generation thing is because we grew up listening to our parents talking to us in Criollo and a little bit of Dutch, and we would give answer. We would answer in Dutch and a little bit of Criollo, right? Okay, but now you also have and I'm also guilty of that. I must admit. But now we also have a generation that. They have Criollo roots, but they don't speak Criollo. So and they go searching. They have other interests, and also the whole social media thing that has also a big part of all of our lives actually. And so things change.
Things do change, man. Things do change. I really don't mind the changes. I know music always goes to a place where the previous generation will say, "Hey, that's not it." Or that's not how we used to do it. I don't mind that because that happens in every genre of music, in hip-hop, but all genres of music. With me, it's about the skill, though. You know what I mean? Like, if I could take hip-hop, like I'm a big hip-hop fan. When we used to listen to hip-hop back in the day, it was like you would listen to somebody like Big Punisher, and you'd be like, yo, how did he do that? But now you listen, you're like, oh, I could do that. You know what I mean? And that is when I feel that.
Like the Island Boys?
Yeah.
No, I was just thinking of that Snoop Dogg and.
But that's when I feel that we've gone to a point where, come on, there is something that we need to protect here. There's a skill that needs to be protected.
Yeah, well, it's a good thing. Yeah, not necessarily. Well, let me put it like this: not necessarily everything that comes out now is garbage. Yeah. There's still
definitely
also I think in the new hip hop era and also in Capeverdean, there are some real artists in between them.
Yep.
For
sure. Especially the hip hop.
But because back in the days, to go back to my when I started out and when I got more into Criollo music, palops, and all that. I believe there were also many artists. Maybe they have a song that is considered a classic right now because it had success. Yeah. But, I'm not going to name names, but there are certainly a few of them that I would say, man, that guy can't sing.
Can't sing.
or that song is terrible. Also from that. Yeah. So,
That's true. No, there were a lot of those back then, too. There were a lot of those back then. That's why you stood out, man. That's why you stood out for sure. My last question for you, man. What's the next step? I mean, you spoke about it a little bit. Would you ever get back in that seat of creating a new artist or creating a compilation album where you basically bring everybody in and make that type of feel again. Would you ever do something like that? Especially artist creation.
Yeah. I wouldn't say no to it at a certain point, but not right now. Life has changed, now I have more responsibilities. It's not the same situation as back then. Back then I used to, when I started, my parents were alive. I was living at my parents' house.
Yeah.
You don't have certain responsibilities.
Of course.
And now it's different, and so you have less time, less energy to do certain stuff.
Of course.
So with the energy and time that I have, it's already hard to focus on my career.
Yeah, no, I get
but so only from that's why I say, right now I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't be able really to take on such a big project.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Man, Johnny, if it was up to me, man, if I had a bag, you'd be in a studio somewhere in a basement just creating, dude. Like, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I've always been a big fan of your work, and that's also because I've been a big fan of your talent. Like I could see like certain songs that you make, other artists wouldn't even think of it or wouldn't be able to do it. So and the success that you've had with songs that were made life-altering songs. Them Fit is a song that is like, speaking of mental health, like that is one of those records that everybody can relate to, and you have a few of those. It goes on and on, man. And I couldn't be happier for your career. I couldn't be happier for you having the certified stamp on you that you're definitely a legend in the CV world. Like,
well, thank
that's
you.
That's not even debatable. Anybody that wants to debate that with me.
Well, thank you, appreciate it.
Undeniable. Any projects that's coming that you want to highlight?
Yeah, I'm working. Well, I have a couple of songs coming out. I'm gonna shoot a video very soon with C4.
Oh, nice.
We did a song together.
I saw.
And actually, I still have two other songs that was from a time that I was a lot of in Angola, and songs that were on the shelf that are about to be released.
Okay.
Other than that, probably doing another album, and then one of those singles probably going to be on that same album.
Nice.
What else? Just try to get more on stage live with band.
Of course.
That's about it.
It would be great to see you in a band atmosphere, like not pick a band here, but your band.
Oh, that would be great. That would be great if I would ever come in that position.
Yeah, that
would be great because that would really enhance that would drive up the quality of what I can put out there.
Yeah,
because if you have your own band and they're really the rehearsal, they know what we're gonna do. Yeah. You don't have any doubts about what comes next, and everybody knows their role.
Yeah.
That gives you as a singer such a freedom and such. Because subconsciously you always think about those things. Oh, I hope he doesn't forget this or forget that. When you work with a band that's not yours, right?
Of course.
So and that takes away from your performance.
I know exactly what you mean.
And if you're able to really give your 100% just for the performance, that would be great, man.
Man, I think that you guys need to stop bugging in Rotterdam. You guys could like create the Avengers, bro. Like you, Grace, Gil, Kino, Susanna, like form a band and see what happens.
Okay, who will be Captain America now?
Hopefully you, man. Look, Johnny, I will end it the way I started, man. It was an honor and a pleasure to sit down with you, man. Thank you so much for your contribution to CV music, to our culture. I know that your music influence, you've influenced myself for sure, and you've influenced a lot of people in this world to create beautiful music, man. And the reason that I stamp you a legend as many others do is because if you take your story away from other legends, their story changes as well. And that's huge. That's really huge. You know, I'm not saying that, I'm not naming names, and I'm not saying that other artists wouldn't have been who they are today if it wasn't for Johnny, but I think that their story would be a little different as well, because you've done so many things with so many different people, man. And I believe that the book of Johnny Ramos still has many, many chapters, so I can't wait to read all of it, man. I'm telling you, it's I hope that you're I know that you're a humble guy, but I hope that you know what you've done so far already, and you should be really proud of it, man, for sure.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. And let me just say that well, yeah, you're not the first that be calling me a legend, or and yes, it does humble me, and I'm not the type of guy that I'm not really good with compliments, but I've been having that a lot lately throughout the world. You know, when you come up when you meet up with other artists, and when they tell you, oh yeah, man, the influence part, and I must say it's flattering, and I do appreciate it from, well, not only from you, from all of you guys, and that's actually even better than an award.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I like that. I like that. We're gonna close off with that, man.
All right.
Johnny, thank you so much. For the people at home, thank you for watching another episode of Praçazul. I would also like to thank, again, our host for today, N1 Studios. Guys, thank you so much for having us here. And, of course, thank our guest, Johnny Ramos, for an amazing episode, man. Thank you, Johnny, and hopefully next time you're here, we can sit again, man.
All right. Well, I have already told everything, so.
All right. No. You got more to come.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Appreciate you, man. For sure.